What's up? It's your girl ShaynaMonét, but you can call me Shay, and welcome back to my channel, aka my podcast, because I will be putting this video specifically on my podcast. And before we get into this video, because I know y'all see the title and it already says that we're going to be talking about mental health, before we even get into the podcast, I first want to say hit that subscribe button, that way you do not miss another video, as well as hit that thumbs up button because it does help me out with my algorithm, and comment down below because believe it or not, that does help us out as well tremendously. So if you can you please do those three? As well as I just wanted to say that I think I want to start doing my podcast more of a live type of video like this one. It will go back and forth, but I think this one I like to see this part. I mean, if you're not the type of person that likes to see the live, then you can always go over to my podcast over on Anchor or Spotify and listen to it from there. But I think for YouTube, we're gonna start doing it live. We'll see though. Today we'll be talking about mental health, seasonal depression, and triggers. Triggers as far as depression, anxiety triggers, and mental health triggers in general. And I'm coming to you all on my sofa because I thought that this video is a serious video, but I wanted to be more relaxed and chill when talking to you all. That way, you know, we can all just be open, because mental health is still something that a lot of people don't like to talk about. And I have gotten to the point that I just feel very comfortable with talking about my mental health, as well as talking about the things that I do for mental health in order to better myself. And I'm like, before we even get started with this for real, I'm gonna tell y'all today is the 4th. Yeah, today is February 4th, and yesterday my mental health was bad. I woke up and I think it was because of the weather. It was part of my seasonal depression, and my mental health was just so, like, I was vibrating low. It's like I kind of just was like in one of them states that I was just like, I want to give up at this point. And not on life, I'm just saying just give up as far as like YouTube, my business. I was just like, I'm over it. But I kind of got myself out of that, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But yeah, I just was over it yesterday. And seasonal depression with weather, that's all real. Like, something about the snow yesterday, it just made me just so ugh, and I just was in the bed up until like the afternoon time. So I was watching some YouTube videos, and I saw that Keeping Up with Jazz did do a video about mental health, and I started watching it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but that inspired me to go ahead and do a video today and do this podcast today based on mental health. That way we all can kind of just like talk about it. I have a list on my phone, and the first thing I put is dealing with depression. So I am diagnosed with depression and anxiety, but my anxiety is more so, how do I say it, like I can kind of control that a little bit more. But my depression, it just comes randomly. I do have seasonal depression, and around the end of the year I get it really bad. And that might have stemmed more so from, well, I know some of it stemmed from my childhood, because some reason around the time frames of when we would normally be out of school, like summer break, as soon as that time frame comes, that is terrible. Spring break, and then definitely Christmas and Thanksgiving. I know those stem from my childhood, and I can get deeper into that another day, but I just know for sure, like from talking to my therapist and stuff in the past, my previous therapist, they basically kind of helped me determine that that's what a lot of that is from. My seasonal depression is from, which is from my childhood. So some of my seasonal depression bounces off of that, and a lot of other seasonal depression, for example, the one that I hit yesterday and this morning, because it did bleed over to this morning, but I kind of just got myself out of that. I think that was more so because of the weather, and it's something about the snow. Like, if I choose to be in the snow, that's one thing, but it's something about the snow, and I couldn't go nowhere because it was ice outside, things like that. It just like got under my skin. I didn't want to do anything. I looked up at the time, it was like 11 o'clock. I was still in the bed. Then 3 o'clock came, was still in the bed. 4 o'clock came, was still in the bed. 6 o'clock came, and I actually decided like, I got homework that's due tonight. I need to do this because I am a full-time student as well. So I just was like, nah, something got to give, because this ain't it. So what makes me depressed? Depression, I can get triggered, and I can get triggered from different things as far as my depression. Like I said, weather is one, certain situations is another. What else? Me overthinking. I can overthink myself into depression, and that is real for real, because I could be sitting here I could be perfectly fine, and all of a sudden it's just like I am out of it. I can overthink myself into depression. So I don't even, and then what kind of stems with the overthinking is the anxiety. So I can make my anxiety like so high, and it's bad, and that's why I had to get to the point to like writing things out, writing things in my journal, things like that, because my anxiety can go through the roof. So I kind of just had to learn how to bring myself from a 10 to a 1 and calm myself down as far as anxiety. And I'm one of them people that be like, it ain't that serious. Like, life is not that serious. Things are not that serious as far as some things, like as far as myself. So I just kind of like have that mindset when I feel like I'm getting a little heated, or a little like if my anxiety is rising. So that's one thing that I do to help with it. But as far as my other depression triggers, weather is like one of my biggest ones right now, and then the actual season. So like around, it's sometimes something about November, and I'm going to have, like, this year I definitely for sure know. Last year I knew too, and it was like I was trying to prepare for it, but this year I don't know if I'm gonna have to go on another trip. Like, I've been going on trips the last 2 years. I've been on trips the end of October and brought in my birthday, but this year it's gonna have to, I don't know if I'm gonna have to take that whole month off and just do something, or go out and enjoy it. Like, I'm gonna need the accountability as far as like accountability partners, and be like, look, we going out, we doing this, we doing something. I don't know what it is yet, but when fall starts to roll around, I'm definitely going to be focused on that as far as mental health this year, and figuring out why I get like that around November. How do I know it's depression? I know it's depression because I literally feel depressed. I feel sad. I feel like I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to eat. I don't want to get out of bed. I'm not a person, like some people, they overeat. Some people, they don't eat enough. I'm the person that I just don't eat enough because I'm over it. I don't feel like doing anything. Yesterday wasn't a bad part of my depression. I actually got up, I ate. I wasn't that hungry actually, but because I knew I needed to eat, and I'm on this no meat journey right now as far as for the month of February. So I was like, look, I need to eat, because you haven't even been eating that many, for example, like protein and stuff like that. So I haven't been eating that much protein, well, really any at all, because I'm not eating meat. So I knew that I needed to get up and eat yesterday. And then I also don't want to do anything, but yesterday was one of those times that I just was like, look, I have priorities. I am an adult. I have to do this. So I'm going to have to do my homework. And that's what I did. Even though I sat in bed and did it, but hey, I did it. And you know, I did what I could, and I submitted it, and I'm Gucci now, you know, like, it's okay, it's good. But sometimes, like, I have to force myself out of it. And then, like, I try not to just downplay my depression and be like, oh, I'm just sad, or oh, I'm just not feeling it. No, my vibrations are low and I'm depressed. Like, I call it what it is, and a lot of people don't call it what it is. I do remember Jazz saying that in part of her video. Like, she was saying, a lot of people don't call depression what it is. Like, we try to stem from it, and us being, not us, because it's different type of, everybody has depression. Everybody has the chemical imbalance, and it can cause depression. But me being a black woman, I feel like a lot of times in the black community, and this is not just in the black community, it might be in different communities too, but I only can speak from what I know. In the black community, I personally feel like we try to be strong all the time, and we try to downplay our depression. And I knew I got to the point that I was like, no, I'm strong by calling it what it is and saying, like, look, I need help. I can't get through this. I can't continue to ignore this. Like, I just knew I couldn't continue to ignore it. And I actually reached out to a counselor 2 years ago. It was in 2020. 2020? No, yes. I'm trying to think. It might have been in 2019. I'm really trying to think hard. But I think it was in 2020 because I was just getting out the United States Army. If you don't know, I am a Army veteran. And if you want to know more about that, definitely follow me over on my Ladies in Turquoise page. And then I also have a couple of veteran, well, I was in the Army active duty videos over here on this channel. I just had to throw my shameless plug in there. But but yes, no, for real. And I got a lot of depression while I was in the Army, and that stemmed off a lot of things. Being overworked, being away from family, being in a different environment, and kind of being a little stuck. So I definitely had to find a way to cope and talk through my depression when I was in the Army. So yeah, that was that. And that's when I started going to a therapist. And then when I got out, I tried to go to a different therapist. It's only one therapist that I just did not like care for, and that was simple. Like literally, I just was like, look, this not working. I called, because I do everything through the VA, so I called the VA and was like, hey, this is not working, I need a new person. And actually I found somebody, and then we got all of that together, and boom, now I love my therapist. I have not seen her since I believe November though, and I actually need to do that soon. Even though right now I have been having more good days than bad, but, or I don't really want to call them bad days, because I'm not really having bad days. It's just some days I just feel sad, some days I feel depressed. And lately, like, I've been having a lot of high vibrational days, but sometimes I am human. I do have low vibration days. So I just feel like no matter what, I need to constantly talk to a therapist, even if I'm good, and even if we change it to once a month or once every other month, or when I feel like I need her, you know. So she's really understanding with that. Last year I did do a lot of shadow work. A lot of shadow work happened last year. I talked a little bit about this, I believe, in my last podcast video. And I did a lot of shadow work because I went through a bad situation. It wasn't even bad. I don't want to like make it seem like it was this like most traumatic thing, but I was in like a breakup type of situation, and it hurt my heart, it hurt my feelings, and I just basically wanted to go to a therapist. And I did a lot of shadow work, and I believe now I'm doing a great job. Like this yesterday was like my first down day of this year. Actually, I think any other days I was doing pretty good, and yesterday was my first like low vibrational day. And even with me being in the bed all day, by the time 6 o'clock came, I did my homework, I forced myself up, I ate, I got myself in the shower, because sometimes you don't even want to shower when you're depressed, like, if you want to be real. And I got myself in the shower, I cleaned myself up, and I was like, okay, now I'm doing the things to be better. I don't really feel that better. I don't really feel much better, but I do, you know, I physically, like, I'm clean, I smell good. Those things help a lot. So today, moving on to today, I just wasn't really feeling it at all when I woke up this morning. And then I was just like, look, Shayna, you gotta push through. You gotta come on, because this ain't it. Like, you cannot sit here in this bed all day. You got things to do. You got goals to reach. You're already kind of behind, because that one day set you off. Like, that should have been the day that I was working through things, because a lot of people was stuck in the house. I know in Texas we were, because of the snowstorm and stuff. So, well, it wasn't really a storm, but that's a whole another story for another day. But, you know, like, things like that, it was what was going through my mind. And it was just like, look, you are already behind. You gotta go ahead and push through. And so that's what kind of got me going today. And all I did was I got up, I literally like forced myself to do my makeup. I said, no, I don't care what I do, I'm going to do my makeup today. I did my makeup, put my wig on. But no, did my hair, did my makeup, put some earrings, put a whole outfit on that I look kind of cute in. And that helped a lot. That made me want to continue to do the content that I need to do, and not just be lazy and lay in the bed. And I don't really want to call it being lazy, because when you're depressed, like, it's a difference between you just being flat out lazy and when you just don't want to get up and do it, you know? So I just forced myself to get up, and I feel better. Like, now that I've actually did some things, I actually feel better. And right now I am reading the book. Let me see, I think it's called Eat That Frog. Let me look. Yes, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. I have listened to this book in the past, I think in December, and I decided that I'm just going to go ahead and listen to it again, because this book does help a lot with procrastination. And the only reason I'm bringing it up now, because I personally feel like procrastination stems from my depression. Actually, it does, and vice versa. Like, it bounces off back and forth. Like, when I'm depressed, I want to procrastinate. When I procrastinate, I start getting depressed. Like, it bounces back and forth. So that definitely does help. And in this book, they do talk about how when you accomplish things, when you get things done, you feel better. Like, your accomplishments make you feel good. So with that said, I just wanted to go ahead and slide that in here. I think everybody should listen or read that book, whichever one you like to do. What am I doing for my depression specifically? Therapy. I already talked about that. Something that helps with my depression is getting out in the sun. Today I actually opened all my blinds. Yesterday I had none of my blinds open. That probably actually made me more depressed, because I didn't have any sun coming in. The sun is really, really big for me. Like, the sun already helps with vitamins. The sun already helps with vitamins. Therefore, like, for me, when the sun hits my skin, I feel good. Like, when the sun is coming through, I feel better. So being in the sun or having the sun shine through into my house, it definitely does feel good, and it helps with my depression. Something else is writing. I actually haven't been writing as much as I should be, because I don't know why. I just haven't been writing. But a lot of the times when I'm in a down space, I do just write out all of my thoughts, and that helps a lot. That helps tremendously for me, because I could be angry and I write it out. Like, even when I learn, even when I'm upset at someone or upset at a situation, I just sit there and write it out, because once I write it out, it kind of like helps me think better. And I don't write it out neat either. Like, if I'm mad, I just be sitting there in that book scribbling. All right, like, look, I know what it say. I know what I'm trying to say, but I be mad, okay? Or I just be quick to write out, because it definitely does help my thoughts like kind of calm down. So writing out what's going on with me definitely does help. Getting dressed and getting out. I'm a busybody. I'm somebody, I don't know if it's a Sagittarius thing or what. Like, I can be a homebody sometimes and stay in my house all day, all week, whatever the case may be. But then when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. Like, I could just be like, dang, I want to go to the store. I want to go grab something to eat. I want to go to 7-Eleven. Like, just me being out feels good. So I know that when I start getting in a space that I feel uncomfortable, literally, like, I could be sitting in the house and just be like, oh, I'm bored. Like, or I just feel uncomfortable. I have to get up and get out. Just go, Shayna. Like, that's literally what I have to say. And I'm happy that I am an adult now, because I think I always felt like this. But of course, when you're a teenager or when you're a kid, you can't just go. Like, you have to ask your parents, and if your parents gotta want to go and things like that. Now that I'm an adult, I hope that I always remember this for my child, because if my child is this type of person, they need to actively be moving, actively be out, actively being somewhere else other than school. That's how I am to this day. So I just personally hope that I always remember that, and that's something I have to constantly do. Just get out the house. Even today, like, the roads are finally clear, and well, from what I can see, they're clear. Even if by me going to the Family Dollar to get some trash bags and stuff that I need around the house, I'ma feel great because I just got out the house and came back, you know. Gospel music helps me a lot. Like, I could blast my gospel music. A lot of music actually does help, but gospel music specifically helps me, like, okay, just hearing it helps me feel energized. It helps my vibrations rise. It just makes me feel anointed. It makes me feel like I could conquer the world. Like God is by my side, I could conquer the world. And that's something I always try to tell myself. Like at the end of the day, whatever you're going through, God got you. God got you. Like he got you, sis. And that's just how I go about a lot of my depression. What pushes me into depression? Okay, so yeah, this is something I kind of already touched on, but I'm gonna go ahead and touch on it again. What pushes me into depression is staying into bed. So like yesterday when I was in the bed and I stayed in the bed, it kind of pushed me more into depression. It made me think more as far as not great thinking. It made me think like sitting there like, let me think. Like it was like slow thinking, like do I really want to do this? Do I really care about this? It was like that. So me staying in the bed actually pushes, it like feeds my depression, which we do not want to do that. We do not want to feed depression. Okay, dehydration. Now this is why I keep drinking my water. But I'm drinking my water right now because I talk a lot and my mouth is dry. Dehydration, when you're dehydrated, your body feels weak. When you're dehydrated, you feel tired, you feel sleepy. You ever feel like, okay, I got all this stuff to do, and you realize that you haven't drunk water all day, but you've been so drained, like you've been so tired, or you take a nap, or you've been asleep for about 3 hours, and you're like, dang, it was only supposed to be a 30-minute nap. Things like that. A lot of that sometimes comes from dehydration. So I have to make sure I am hydrated, because if not, like that feeds my depression. Like I could start getting into a state of depression, or I could start feeling like I'm depressed when I'm really not. Like I'm actually in a good mood, but because I feel drowsy and drained, it does feel like depression. And sometimes it's not, like I said, it's not that, it's just it feels like that, which makes my mind like, dang, am I depressed right now? So dehydration does feed depression, and you need to drink your water, sis. All right, I'm saying sis, but no, whoever is watching this, you need to drink water. Constantly drink water. Binge eating can make you feel depressed, or can put you into that state because you're constantly eating, especially depending on what you're eating. If you just sitting there eating like 3, 4, 5, that's something that I do. Like I know I do that when I'm on my cycle. I think it's a comfort thing. Like when I'm on my monthly, you know, girls thing, I eat like a lot of sweet foods. So it's sometimes, like I know I said earlier that I get to the point that I don't want to eat anything, but when I do want to eat something, I literally want to eat like 5 cupcakes. Like, and it's not like these the healthy type of cupcakes. No, it's the ones that with the real filled sugar. That's the only time I can eat them. The ones from like Walmart or something, because they be so sweet. Normally I get sick right after because my stomach is not used to it, and I don't really care for stuff like that unless, like I said, it's them around those times. I'll sit there and eat like a whole thing of donuts. And binge eating does feed my depression, and we don't like I said, we don't want to feed depression. And then lastly, well, I already said weather, but lastly, social media. Social media can feed into the people's depression, and they don't even realize it. Have you ever been scrolling on TikTok? And I feel like I'm about to be like an ad or a commercial, but no, seriously, have you ever been scrolling on TikTok and you're just like, dang, I just like went through 5 emotions. Like you'll be scrolling and be cracking up, and then you'll be scrolling and then you see somebody had passed away, and now you in here crying, and then the next video is something about somebody committed suicide, like things like that. That's a lot of emotions for one person. Imagine you going through every emotion in 5 to 10 minutes, and imagine the people who are double or triple that because they're staying on social media for 30 minutes to an hour, or about 2, 3, 4 hours a day. Like that can really feed into you. And I feel like what we see, or what other emotions, for example, like what other people are going through, we can feel that. And it is so powerful because you can feel that through the phone. You ever be watching a YouTuber and be like, dang, something off with them. How we know it's something off with them? Through the dang old phone, because we can feel those energy is just that strong. So we personally have to control our social media usage. I know that's why I got off of social media as far as my personal pages, TikTok, for a month, and even now I only got it on my business phone. That way I'm away from it. When I'm away from it, I'm away from it, and when I'm with it, like I can be on it and kind of control it, and then be like, look, no more. All right, so my camera had cut off, but It's okay because I am already done with this video. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button because it does help with my algorithm. Make sure you're hitting everybody else's thumbs up button if you do enjoy their videos as well, because that's something that really does help with our algorithms. Make sure you comment down below like a sentence or something. Tell me what you all do to help with your depression. Do you deal with depression? But let's go ahead and get the conversation started in the comments, as well as hit that subscribe button, because y'all, we're on the road to 2K and I got goals, I got plans, and I'm trying to go it's only up from here, baby. Okay, all right, I hope you all enjoyed this video and I'll see you all in the next one.